Community Resources and Tourism Committee. Thank everybody's here, all is present. So roll call is taken care of. This thing on? Okay. All right, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Motion made, second. Monica? Any further discussion on meeting minutes? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Any public comments? None whatsoever? Good. All right, move on to staff reports, extension, area extension director.
Hello, good afternoon. I just pulled over in my car. I'm driving around Area 6 as usual, but I can't get my video to work, so I apologize. I don't know if you'd want to see me in the car anyway. But just wanted to, I know Jerry couldn't make it for the staff reports, and so we don't have a staff report this month, but wanted to give an update on our open educator position. So it was between dairy and livestock. So I've been working, as I mentioned last month, pretty closely with our state colleagues as well as area colleagues, and also talking with people in the farm, in the agriculture industry. And so I just received approval to move forward with a livestock educator. So I'll be moving forward with that hire, and inviting all committee members once again to join in that final interview if you have the opportunity to do so. I'll keep you updated on the timeline and when those final interviews will take place. I don't have that calendared out quite yet, so it should be posted here in the next, I would say, week or so. And we'll probably leave it posted for about a 4-week posting, 3 to 4 week posting. So so that's where I'm at with the regional livestock educator position. Any questions or thoughts on that?
Kristen, Mr. Chair,
Yep, go ahead, Larry.
you're saying livestock. Are you talking about the Lisa Seafeld's position in dairy?
Lissa, yes. Yep.
A lot of times
Yeah.
when they say livestock, they mean something other than dairy. But okay, got it. That's all. Thanks.
Any other questions for Kristen? Tom?
Yeah, if I could, yeah, could you explain, is this going to be more than just dairy? Is that the intention?
Correct. Yeah. So this position, so in talking with, you know, in talking with our agriculture industry, I've met with a number of people, and also diving into the data. You know, this position is going to gear more towards livestock. Our dairy numbers are tied up in some of the bigger operations. So when you look at the dairy in the industry, it's a lot of bigger operations that that already have a lot of support. So this position will come in to help some of our dairy producers who might be transitioning to more of a livestock type of farming, or getting going in some of their farming, no matter the area that they are emphasizing. So whether it's dairy or livestock. So it's just a more blended position that will help support our local people coming in who are not really in the bigger farms or CAFOs. You know, we've got 5-Star Dairy, we've got some of the bigger dairy producers that, you know, in talking with, and I did talk with 5-Star Dairy, and I talked with the one up on T there, and you know, their needs are not necessarily with a local dairy educator, but there's still some dairy farms that will be supporting, and with an emphasis on livestock.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, once again, Kristen, I think that's probably a good move from what I experienced. I mean, I'm sitting here, that's what I have done. But
Mhm.
I don't think you should lose track of the economic impact that dairy has, through the region, and Hawkins and Jensen's and moving into Chippewa and Eau Claire County. There's there's
Yeah.
there's need in that area
Yeah.
that that isn't how to balance records, but there's need in that area and how to manage people and how to house employees. And I just spent the weekend at Northern Wisconsin State Fair and talked to a number of dairy producers, and that was the first thing on their minds.
Yeah, thanks for that, Larry. So with this position, we also have, so we don't really have a livestock educator in this region, and so we've really been missing, in terms of support for those types of farms. But we do have some dairy educators. We have Ryan Sterry. You probably know Ryan. And we have, I forget her name, she's housed out of River Falls. And so I'm really looking at this as being a collective that, we're going to work together to make sure that dairy is covered so it won't be an uncovered area. And exactly what you said, Larry, that's what I heard from people was, that people connection. How do we help those that are overseeing people on the farms, but then also those that are on the farms, making sure that they are supported as well. And so that's part of that's going to be part of what we'll be looking at moving forward with this position. So absolutely, I've heard the same things. And I also have heard just how underrepresented livestock and, small ruminants, whether it be chickens or pigs or whatever, that, there just hasn't been a lot of support for those farms either. And so just trying to really, if we went complete dairy, we would lose out on that livestock, or, the small animal types of assistance that we could give. This way we can bring in livestock and we can have support from some of our other local dairy educators. So we're really trying to round that out so we make sure we support as best we can all farmers that are needing that support.
Thank you, Kristen. I don't see any more questions, so
Okay, yeah, and that's I believe that's all I have for this month for the committee, unless you have questions for me.
no, it looks like you're off the hook for this one.
Very good. Well, thank you all. I appreciate your patience as I come in over online.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
I'll move on to item 5B, written extension education updates.
So if you have any questions on the reports, we do have Garrett online, I
Oh, I'm
see.
sorry. Yes.
Yep, if you have questions on those written reports, especially for Garrett, as he's relatively new in in extension, if you have questions on what he's working on based on his report, happy to have him share. And I can't see who else is in the room, but if there's anybody else in the room, certainly there's some, the fair's going on, as y'all know, the fair's coming up, and so our office has been pretty busy, but please reach out with questions.
Go ahead, Larry.
Well, again, I noted that I thought Garrett is an exceptional person in probably communications, and what do I know about communications? But communicating extension's role and value to a rural community, I assume that it's going to have a presence at Farm Progress Days in Chippewa County, middle of August coming up?
Yeah, we will actually, Extension will have a presence there. We'll have a booth. Jerry Clark will be there. Jeannie Walsh, any other staff members in the area will be there. I believe we'll have some presence from our Dean's leadership team as well. I think Carl Martin will be there. UW-Madison is celebrating their 175th, and so there'll be some activities around that as well that day. So, so from our area, absolutely, we'll have a presence. We have a booth. We have giveaways that we're coordinating and information about extension, about what we're up to in the area, as well as the broader state extension piece as well. So. So yes, Larry, we'll definitely have a presence, and Jerry's been on the committee for Farm Tech Days as well.
You should take Garrett with him.
Yeah, Garrett could be our speaker, huh?
I don't know. I think never mind. I think he'll do very well in promoting university extension.
Absolutely, thank you. Garrett, do you have anything to say about that?
No, I'm trying, and as you all are hearing from your own constituents about potential needs, especially within either municipal governments or local nonprofits, feel free to connect them with me. I have a couple of meetings later this week in Dunn, so I'm really starting to dive in deep. But as always, appreciate any kind of support that you all can give me as I step into this role. So thank you.
Any questions for Louisa or Zach is here? Any questions for those guys? Okay. Thank you, guys. I guess pretty good report. Now we can move on to written extension educator updates.
So I think I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me. That's what I thought that was the agenda item we were just on.
Move on to economic development update.
Thank you.
Item 6A. The recording's going, yes, please.
For you, people that don't know who I am, I'm Gary Steen. I'm vice chair of the, he put a battery in there. He sprinted up here earlier, so, yeah. So I was a past president of the Economic Development Corporation for Dunn County, and we've been through some rough times in the last few years, but and I would like to just credit Chris Corpola for her outreach and her willingness to look and learn about how other counties do things. And so what we've done, and we started a year ago, and it's coming to fruition, and I'm just going to touch on it, and then I'll be introducing Steve Lindbergh, who is the president of the Dunn County Economic Development. We reached out to Stout, we reached out to Greater Menominee Economic Development Corporation, and we reached out to the city of Menominee and, of course, Dunn County. And a year ago, we started from scratch, but we wanted to collaborate and get all the entities pulling together and try to make an impact for all of Dunn County, not just Menominee, not just the outside part or the rural areas. And so I'd like to thank all those parties for their willingness to collaborate. We're one of the contributors, and what we've been able to do is at the way we couldn't afford to hire an economic development guy. Just wasn't in the cards. We couldn't do it on what the county could do. But through collaboration with Stout and the other entities, we're able to offer a job. They'll be working through Stout. Is that correct, Steve?
Employed by Stout.
Employed by Stout with retirement and benefit package, which most economic development directors don't have. And so we're able to go out and then take our money that we've got from all our entities, Menominee, Dunn County, some from the Greater Menominee Economic Development Corporation, and pay a salary of what did we start with there? $70,000-$80,000 range, along with benefits, and get the state retirement. So it's a good job to have. And I'll let Steve carry on. But a year ago, we started this thing, and we're in fruition. They offered the job to a guy now, and we're waiting on his return. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on here too much, but this is Steve Lindberg. He's a member of both the Greater Menominee Economic Development Corporation and the president of the Dunn County Economic Corporation. So Steve, she's all yours.
Thank you, Gary. Can you hear me okay? As Gary mentioned, Steve Lindberg, been involved with economic development for a few years, and here today primarily because in the past, the executive director of the DCEDC was Bob Bassani, who retired, as you probably know, later last year. So we've been kind of floating along this year, working toward this, what we're calling a consortium, working collaboratively with City of Menominee, Stout. Xcel Energy has been involved a little bit in terms of just helping to fund some things. So Stout development, or Stout economic development, and then the city as well. So we've gone through some interviews. We had 3 final interviews here in the last couple of weeks, have made an offer to a candidate who we think is very strong from the region. Not allowed to give his name yet because he hasn't accepted yet, but we hope to hear sometime in the next few days anyway. I think they're just ironing out details of start date and that kind of thing. So we're excited about this because so often in the past we've had Dunn County Economic Development and or Greater Menominee Development Corporation kind of working in their own little individual silos and not all that efficient, sometimes on the same thing, sometimes on different things. And so the thinking is we can pool resources and have one person, so we're not competing necessarily with those other entities and instead working collaboratively. So the intention of attending today is, I think in your packets today, you should have received a request for funding. Chris, or not Chris, but Lori Reardon, the past president of the Dunn County Economic Development, worked on that in Bob Bassani's absence, and I was at a wedding last week as well. Our intention would be to submit this earlier in the year, not waiting till the last minute, so apologies for that, and I hope you understand that the main reason is that we have not had an economic development director, and hope to have one at this time next month. So some of the things that we hope to, once we have this individual on board, we'll develop a 2024, 2025 work plan. And one of the objectives from DCEDC is to really work a little harder at using that revolving loan fund. In the past, we have had very little involvement. I can't really speak specifically as to why we haven't had much action there, but our intention would be to make that a priority going forward, along with trying to attract, our mission basically is to try to attract new industry and business, but also to support existing business and industry in our community, in our county. So we have an oversight group that this individual reports to. And so it's not just technically the employment is through Stout because they can offer state benefits, which gives us a leg up over any other economic development type entity because they typically don't offer those benefits. But this individual will report to the oversight committee, which will include from the county, myself and Chris Corpola will sit on that oversight committee, and then along with 2 from Stout and then 2 from the city of Menominee. So we're excited about this, the direction things are going. We have a lot to offer in our region, and I think I'll just pause there for now to see if you have any questions about the request.
Mr. Chairman, Steve,
Yes,
glad to have you here today.
thank you.
And Gary, or whatever it takes to, if you get somebody hired, get a spot on the agenda, so at our 31st meeting that we can all be informed.
Okay. Yeah, Larry, that's our intent. And the offer's been made. We're just waiting on the guy to accept it. So, and we think he's going to accept it. And then we'll be able to come to the meeting, introduce him. And then also, the revolving loan fund has been, and I just want to make a point here is that this collaboration, we didn't always get along so good in the past. I'll be honest about that. And I was a little hesitant I don't want to lose the county's hook in the thing, if you understand what I mean. I don't want to let it go away. We want to be part of what's going on, and we're part of the oversight committee. And so, and the revolving loan fund, I'm on the Dunn County Loan Fund, and they give a printout every quarter about all the activity that's happening, and we are invariably low or non-existent compared to Chippewa County, Barron County, and these are all loans that might be $10,000 up to $200,000, $300,000 for businesses that want to start or existing businesses that want to expand. And I was just talking with Steve about that. Part of what I want to see happen here is a much bigger footprint from us utilizing the loans, because then when I come back to talk to you people, or Steve talks to you people, there'll be some tangible results, because, and I don't blame any board member, where's our money going? What are we getting for it, And so this whole thing is designed to be open and to be more responsive to the contributors, so that you feel that that it's a worthwhile project. I'm quite excited about it, but then, like they say, the proof is in the pudding, so we'll have to see. But I hope that answers some of your questions, Larry.
Yeah, it does. And then, of course, the first one that pops into my mind is, what does Stout get out of it? And then I can answer my own question, hopefully, in that when I see the billboards advertising Stout students, and they talk about Midwest Polytech or whatever it is, I have no idea what a Midwest Polytech is. So, I mean, I would assume Stout would be interested in this through, trying to find companies that they teach people to do what people need to know to be part of that. And also, who knows better about who the movers and shakers are in those industries than probably Stout grads.
That's exactly right. Stout is interested because they have their tech park, and they have some unique career-oriented majors, such as packaging, a hotel restaurant management, guides and counseling, and so on. And the thinking is having a university there might be an attraction to new industry as well, because they could partner, sort of seamlessly with Stout, whether it be through internships or whatnot. So that's why they have been included as part of this consortium. So,
if I just might add here, Catherine Frank, the chancellor, is very interested in this. I would think that some prior Stout people were not. That wasn't the focus on economic development, but I think almost everything is now. Housing, everything is part of economic development, and so as we go forward, and Stout, it will house the person we're going to hire, and he'll have access to some of their clerical staff. So that's how this is part of how things are happening. Yep. So, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Eric Atkinson is on board, the new city manager, and the South Tech Park. We have I can't think of his name.
Seth Hudson.
Yeah. Seth Hudson is now the head of the Stout Tech Park, and he's also a part of the economic development team at Stout. So I think, and we'll try to give a pretty thorough explanation and introduction when we come before the whole board. And I'm not gifted with the information that I ought to have right now, but we'll bring it to you. Any other questions that I can help with, or?
Well, if I could just expand on that too. And Chris might be she's obviously absent today, but she might be in a good position to suggest to us that maybe we attend periodically just to provide updates to the board. So I'll mention that to her and see what she thinks, but sorry.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Are you, I assume you're sort of waiting to get the director in place before you develop a formal budget for the whole organization?
Correct. We'll want some of the insights of the new person who has some previous economic development experience. And so we'll want to sit down with him, work on, well, number one is introducing that individual to the community, first of all, to the county. And secondly, working on a work plan. What are the things that we want to prioritize as far as things that need to get done? And then enlist his feedback for budget information and probably prioritization as well. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just say one more thing. As a board member, and I think I can speak for all board members, when we're asked to give money, we'd like to know where it's going and what it accomplishes. And that's part of what we're trying to do here, to tell you where it's going and show you what it's doing, and hopefully make you feel more comfortable in being part of the operation. So thank you for your time. And I hope, is there any other questions that Steve or I could answer? And Chris can really give a better update on this, but she's taking a much needed vacation, so she left second in command here. So, but thank you. And I hope we've answered all your.
Yeah, I agree with, I don't know, Larry and you guys talked about doing maybe even quarterly updates, would be nice. All these, outside agencies could probably do that,
We would have no problem doing that. And matter of fact, I think, well, if we were successful, we'd really want to do it. But I think we owe it to you anyway, just to let you know where we're at and how we're doing. And I think that's a great idea. And that'll happen.
Any further questions?
I just wanted to say that I'm really, really excited to hear about all this work. I like the direction that it's going. I'm feeling really comfortable with the plan as it's been laid out so far, and I appreciate the communication. So
Thank you. We're excited about it as well. So thanks. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. Dan, I guess you're up next, Dunn County Communications.
Yes, what was our first, Dunn County Communications. So, yep, we are continuing on with our, working with press releases. We have negotiated to renew our contract with Doug Mel Communications for next year at the same rate as before. That is not part of this committee's budget. That's under the Committee on Administration budget, so it'll fall under the county managers. But just to let you know, we did verbally confirm that we were going to continue that contract into next year. Currently working on a press release for the Dunn County Fair. So Doug had interviewed Deb about that, as well as some other people, and that should be released. I've seen a draft version of it, so I haven't seen the final one. Should be out likely by the end of the week. Working on a story around the bike path that will go out. We're going to be doing the dedication for that next week. It's been rescheduled multiple times, so it keeps raining. I don't know if you guys knew that. And then some news stories, looking into a story around ADUs, depending on how the ordinance update vote happens. It's in 2 weeks, right? And some more, I guess, just kind of stories about different things that are happening throughout the county in county operations. But those are the big ones that we have planned for right now as far as communication. So it's doing good. We're continuing to see the communications we put out getting caught by the media and presented. And so that's good news. The whole goal of this has always just been to get all the good work that we do in the county out to the public so that they know what's going on. So it's been quite successful, and we're very happy with it. And always end this update with, if you have any ideas, send them along. So,
The bike trail, is that the one Putnam County, Dunn County?
no, the one right out here.
Oh, the one, oh, the new
Yep,
one out
yep,
here. Okay.
Yep.
Questions? Communications? All right.
Well, I can give you an update a little bit on the fair. The theme is going to be Christmas in July. And I don't know how all the other projects are going. That young lady would know. But the one that I've been involved with is my grandson, who's been taking a dog in to see Sandy Miller's class for the last couple months. And I think historically they've had about a dozen dogs, 11 or 12, and now they're close to 30. Yeah. So, that's, it's just great seeing parents and kids working together, and that key leader that brings it all together. So, yippee.
Yes. The Christmas trees are going to be highlighted in the story. Yes. So I've got a draft of it. So yes, they're in there. The dogs aren't. Maybe talk to Deb and get the dogs in there.
Any further questions on communications for Dan? I move on to broadband.
All right. Broadband, we're in the wait part of hurry up and wait. Still waiting on the federal government to approve the state's proposal for BEAD funding. So we did get some updates that if I think Tom is the only person that was on the committee, but the BEAD projects are going to require an action of the full board. So our attempts to update our ordinance to be able to act a little bit quicker by allowing a committee to do that aren't going to work. But it will allow, because of the way the broadband task force was created, it will allow for those requests to go directly from the broadband task force to executive and the board, so it doesn't have to go through CR&T. I'll provide updates, or Chair Bauer can provide updates as those happen. So that's kind of one of the biggest, that just came out last week. And so I think a lot of the guidance that we're getting from the state right now is reach out to your area providers and let them know the time frame, and that they're not going to be able to get the support of the county in a day. It is going to take a process of going through a few meetings that need to be properly noticed in order to get that. So so they're going to have to work ahead of time and do a lot of planning, which I don't want to. They certainly do a whole lot of planning as these things come in, but they have to plan on the timeline of those as well. So we'll see how that kind of goes forward. This is we were not alone in our request to be able to do that with just a committee, but certainly something that's been recognized by everyone that it's going to be a process. But and I think I had mentioned this before, that we were provided as a county a significant amount of value in the scoring of broadband projects that we can essentially our backing can provide them a lot of assistance in getting those approved. So so that's a really good thing, as we just received notification that one of the larger broadband providers had defaulted on some of their regional RDOF. I never remember what it is. Forget what the D is. It's an opportunity fund. Yeah. So, but it was some federal funding that was a large federal auction of spaces. So they took different locations throughout the country, and different areas said, yeah, I bid this much that I'll cover this area. I bid this much, I'll cover this area. And so that was one of the earliest attempts at funding broadband opportunities had been done that way. And so Dunn,
What's the status for that?
so those funds are still available. So, and those are considered committed funds. So if you had an RDOF covered area, it is not eligible for the BEAD funding because it already has obligated federal funds. So in Dunn County, we were very lucky.
Yeah.
We didn't know this at the time, but we were very lucky that one of the company that bid on the majority of Dunn County defaulted immediately, and the FCC pulled back their rights to
Right.
it. So the bad side of that at the time, it seemed like we weren't going to get any of the RDOF funds. But over time, what has actually happened is it made Dunn County eligible for a lot of the other state and federal grant funds that were available, whereas counties that were covered by a different provider for RDOF were ineligible for a lot of those grants. So it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. There was no RDOF default in Charter is the only company that had RDOF in Dunn County, and they did not default in Dunn County. They cover an area around Wheeler is where their RDOF funding was. So we're in a good spot. We've identified about 3 areas in the county that are just kind of gaps that have been missed, and the providers in the area are aware of those and are planning on pursuing the BEAD funding to do that. And so we're in a good spot to be able to get the county covered. And BEAD funding is a 5-year thing, but hopefully we can get it. Hopefully we can get it done sooner.
You don't see that changing at all as far as going through the full county board? I mean, down the road here a little bit?
I don't expect it. It could happen. I think there would have to be a whole lot of squeaky wheels. Because it had come up and us and other counties had expressed concern about that, and so it was brought to the PSC, and they made an ultimate determination that they had to interpret the rules that they wrote, and they have interpreted their rules to say that it requires a resolution of the full board. So we'll see how that works. And we will do our best to make sure we don't have to have emergency meetings in order to do it, which would be the concern.
Just a note that as of right now, the broadband committee is not meeting until we get some more decisions to be made, so we're just gonna wait.
And then I guess one other update that I would provide is we have now been invoiced and paid we've paid 2, and we have 4 of them that I've received the invoice for that are in processing, and that is to pay the amount that the county had allocated for projects with, in this particular case, it was with Mosaic. So the grant, and then 24/7 had 5 of them that we had sponsored over time. And so we've been invoiced for those, and so we can get those ARPA funds committed and spent before their deadline. So moving along.
Good. Any further questions for Dan? Dunn County, you did broadband already.
To
right?
broadband.
Yep.
And I don't really have much of an update on tourism. We discussed that. It was the last meeting. So we will continue to move forward with the plans that we had discussed.
Yeah. Any further questions? Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on to item 7, the website.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss, you wanna get on that one?
Yeah, and I think So this is an action, but
Yeah.
there will not be a request for the website funding due to the discussion that we had last meeting.
Yep.
And in working with Explore Menominee to do that, we'll be able to carry forward remaining funds in order to cover the one-time costs.
All right. Are we gonna vote on which way we wanna go on this now, or are we just? Cause we were talking about, we can add an action item on the site. Merge the site or the. The other, weren't we? We just. That's kind of why it was an action item, I think. Remember that?
Is it?
Oh, okay. So we're good?
I mean,
There's not gonna be any,
the
the cost of, doing one or the other, I guess is. And which one are we gonna go with? Nothing right now?
I guess I took the discussion last time as this was kind of the way that we can certainly do that as an action if you'd like to, but
Cause I think we couldn't vote on it because it wasn't an action item last time, so
Correct.
that's why we put it on this time, I think, that for the action item to vote on.
seen it.
Question?
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
Go ahead.
So the I guess proposal that had come forward was utilizing or partnering with Explore Menominee to utilize the Explore Menominee website and having tight integration with Dunn County, the Visit Dunn County site. There was two options available, and one was to merge the site, which would have a little bit more, I guess maybe a little bit more autonomy with Visit Dunn County, and the other one is to very much integrate Visit Dunn County. So it's essentially the same. It's all the same site, but there's just kind of two doorways into it, if you will. That one was the second option was the lesser cost. All of these were one-time costs that were going to be discounted by Explore Menominee, and I believe the thoughts around this group last time was to utilize the second option, which was also the preferred option by Explore Menominee, as I go over there for
So
verification.
I move that we accept that option.
Can we have motion to accept a second? Any further discussion on it?
Time, wasn't it?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll combine the two then. There you go. Item C is outside agencies budget request. Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. Sorry. Oh, we'll go back to, did I miss B? I did, didn't I? Yeah, that's all right.
I'm happy to wait my turn if you'd rather have the library speak, but
You're already up to go ahead.
all right.
If you guys are okay with that, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate the opportunity here to speak to you about our 2025 budget request as we are preparing our own budget at the commission level. The commission meets every other month, essentially the odd numbered months. So they met here in July, just last Thursday, and discussed their preliminary budget for the first time. So they're moving forward with that. However, back in March, they established the levy rates for each of the 7 member counties, including Dunn County, which is the item the amount be requested for the 2025 budget through Dunn County of $25,099. So just a real quick summary, because I will be back here before the full County Board of Supervisors at your meeting in 2 weeks, on July 31st. So I'll be giving a presentation along with our lending specialist, Amanda Veith, who will be giving a presentation on the Regional Business Fund, as the gentleman related to the Economic Development Corporation we're referring to earlier, in terms of their loan committee and in terms of the progress recently in that. I can attest that there was one loan that was closed in 2023 for Dunn County, but only one. However, this year that we've had 4 already move forward. So there is progress being made in Dunn County with getting that the word out and getting businesses participating in some of those regional business fund programs. So there's a brochure at your spot in terms of talking about the regional business fund. I'm not necessarily here to talk much about that. Again, we'll be speaking more about that in 2 weeks. There's also a brochure about the Regional Planning Commission as a whole. You have a former commissioner in your midst, Supervisor Quinn, just concluded his tenure with the commission. Your 3 commissioners representing Dunn County are now County Board Supervisor Diane Morehouse, new County Board Supervisor Carl Vandermeulen, and who's essentially taking over for County Board Supervisor Quinn, and then a longtime representative on the commission, also the executive committee, Steve Rasmussen. So excited to have all those members participating very regularly and very engaged with the commission. Also at your spot is our new updated each year, our new economic profile. It's a 4-page brochure there, kind of a booklet style that we update each year with new information as it's available, and just providing that economic profile that folks like yourselves, as well as county board, the commissioners on our commission, and the EDC can utilize to share with prospective employers, businesses, and the development community as a whole. So those are all on our website, wcwrpc.org. It's under community profiles there, so you can see how you stack up against the other members of the commission, other 6 counties within West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. In terms of what was presented to you, so I think that covers all the materials before you. Also have our new pen. I think annually we get new pens. We keep running out of them, but it has our logo on there and not just standard text. So please certainly feel free to pass it along if you don't need that. But hopefully you can utilize that as well. So in terms of what's been submitted for your consideration, again, the $25,099, how does that compare to 2024? 2024 for Dunn County was $23,473. The overall 7-county levy amount from the commission was recommended to increase 3% this year. So the current total this year is $297,649. And the recommendation for next year is that they've approved, I should say, is $306,578. So per statute, the commission can, I guess I say charge, but essentially it's a service charge. They're authorized to charge that to the member counties up to 0.003% of the real estate valuation. So essentially equalized value of the county, of each county. We are just, and we've always been right around 0.0005. So 1/6 of that. So the levy amount has always been right around kind of that 1/6 of the maximum authorized by statute. So again, pretty standard over the last 15 years. We track a local levy 15-year history. I'm happy to provide that. That's been provided to your commissioners as well. As I referenced the three of them earlier. But again, we average around a 3% increase each year. So that's what you see here in terms of that total is the 3%. It varies again, fluctuates county by county based on your equalized value. So in terms of the amount, if you're to kind of rank them, St. Croix County has the highest levy amount based on their equalized value, and Clark County has the lowest, and Dunn County is right in the midst of that. So in terms of what do we do? So that's been provided to you as well. The local levy funding, again, including those contributions from Dunn County, support various initiatives serving as matching funds, in particular for federal, state, and foundation grants. Again, that enables that regional planning, community development, economic development, transportation programs. It allows the commission to undertake regional projects, whether identified in our regional comprehensive plan or requested by the commission itself. The levy funding also ensures the provision of technical assistance to counties and local governments within the region. It helps to maintain the expertise and capacity required to deliver this support effectively. In particular, for example, we've been having a lot of good conversations, meetings with your new planner/zoning administrator, Ann Wodarczyk, and it's been a pleasure getting to know her as she's been becoming acclimated to that position as well. Some of the things in 2023 that the Regional Planning Commission provided or participated in related to Dunn County was that we annually staff a stormwater outreach coordinator position for the Rain to Rivers program of Western Wisconsin. The Dunn County members include both the city of Menominee and UW Stout. We participate as well in the West Central Wisconsin Rail Coalition, which is focused on this passenger rail service in the region. Again, we help facilitate some of those meetings or conversations, I should say. As referenced previously about broadband, we help coordinate the regional broadband implementation group, providing some of those informational items and materials county by county as well. We've assisted City of Menominee, administration of Federal Economic Development Administration, or EDA funds, for the construction of the Stout Technology Business Park expansion. We provided general support for the disaster-ready Chippewa Valley in Dunn, Chippewa, and Eau Claire counties. So again, it's related to hazard mitigation requirements that we assist each county with. We're also initiating the development of a safe routes to school plan for the Glenwood City School District, which does bleed over into the kind of just west of Boyceville area. So again, the Glenwood City School District, which again kind of overlaps different county boundaries at times. And then we've assisted the Stepping Stones with administration of a neighborhood investment fund for the construction of the new homeless shelter in Menominee, and provided water quality management planning review and consultation for the Menominee urban area. It's required by their sewer service area plan, and we are in the process of seeking funding through the state DNR to update that plan. So look forward to some more updates on a number of things, planning and water quality management through sewer service area plan coming up. So some of the other things, again, we share these results in a lot of different ways, the materials before you, as well as I mentioned, the annual presentation made to the county board by myself, and then also our RBF staff here in just 2 weeks. So with that, let's see if there are any questions.
Go ahead, Larry.
You're Scott Allen, right?
Oh, I am. Sorry, I apologize. Scott Allen,
Okay.
Executive Director.
Well, you know that I've never been happy with what you do. And it goes back to early on when I was on the board, that we would have a number of nonprofits or whatever they would be called, like the Mabel Tainer or um, uh, Dunn County Animal Rescue or whatever it is. And we were able to, put funds out to help different things in our community. And you guys have become such a large usage of that money that we have no money available for local groups that people would like to support. And I can't be critical of the young lady that brought forth the housing study because it was absolutely thorough, but it looked like we spent way too much money to not get any new things that we didn't already know. And that troubles me. And I mean, to me, I'd like to take $10,000 that you guys request and able to help fund the economic development position that works in Dunn County. And other than 3 or 4 loans to help get businesses going, and I can't see what you've done. And then the last thing, it's personal for me. I think you're way too loaded up politically. Steve Rasmussen is a proud supporter of his values politically, but they're not mine. And he seems to continue to be on the board. It seems to be on your executive committee year after year after year. And he hasn't served as a Dunn County board member for now maybe 5 or 6 years. And I made the criticism a year ago that I can't believe that if Dunn County is paying $25,000 or $23,000 last year, that you would not have people on your committee from Dunn County who are Dunn County board members. And I know Tom's been a good guy on the board, and I know that Carl will step right in there and do a good job, but it ain't a job that I want. But I look up and down the 26 or 20, well, how many number of board members we are, and I say to myself, if Dunn County is pitching these people $25,000, why isn't there somebody sitting in this room to have an opinion at how that money is spent? So 2 things, I'd rather spend half of your money on other local organizations and I would just like to see more elected Dunn County representation on your board. That's all. So, and, I've been crabby every time I saw you, so you know what to expect.
All right.
Thank you,
I
Scott.
appreciate that. If I may, in terms of the appointments, those do happen every 2 years. And so it's the even numbered years. So that did happen this year. Hence Supervisor Vandermeulen is now on the
Yeah.
commission. It's up to each individual county how they want to handle their membership on the commission. Again, is 3 members from 3 commissioners from each county. Some counties do choose to appoint only county board supervisors. Clark County is one of those. But Dunn County is reflective of some of the other counties, Eau Claire County, Polk County, in terms of 2 county board supervisors and 1 citizen member. So just for some context on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Anybody else got any comments? Tom?
Yeah, then I want to make a motion, but just a comment. I mean, I disagree with pretty much everything, Larry, that you said, which not surprising, but I think some things you got just flat wrong. Like you say that we should take money, we shouldn't use the money we put into the housing study. That should go to other things. Fact is, we didn't put any money into the housing study. That was grant funds that we got through regional development, regional planning. So anyway, I think Scott pointed out that we, Steve is on there not as a county board representative, but as a citizen representative. And if we have questions about that, we should bring that up at board meeting, because that's the proper place for it. What?
We appoint,
We
we appoint so many people to positions. We appoint.
the place to
executive
have that
committee-
argument though is not.
No, it's not an argument.
Well,
It's just that
it
I
is-
feel in those positions that there should be a board vote on it, and maybe it comes out the same, but the
board approves the appointments.
board does not. Yeah, as a group.
That would be the point that I'm just talking about, you're complaining about a process.
Yes, I am.
And the right way to deal with the process is at the appropriate time and place, and that is when the appointments are announced. You can make that case. And you can make that suggestion. You come to the executive committee and do it. It's sort of ingenuous, I think, to put Scott on the line for that, because he has nothing to do with it. It's our decision as a board.
He can know.
No, I think that, I've been happy to serve on the regional planning. It's not exciting stuff. It's just nitty gritty support services to county government. I think the fact that, for example, we have not had much with regard to the usage of the loan funds is primarily our responsibility. Most counties rely on their economic development director to steer people towards those things. And we have not had that capacity. So that's our fault, not the regional planning's fault. And I think they've done everything they can to deal with it. I would like to make a motion that we approve the request.
I would like to second that.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the $25,099. We have a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I think it's too much money. I think the county will be facing huge shortfalls as we work our budgets out. And I would like to see that money spent locally in Dunn County.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One. Okay. Motion carries.
If I may, Mr. Chair, just in
Yeah.
closing as well, look forward to seeing hopefully everybody at the Farm Technology Days or Farm Progress Days, August 13th to 15th. We'll be there along with the Raider Rivers display and the Regional Business Fund. So we'll have staff at Farm Technology Days as well. Thank you. Over in Cadott in Chippewa County. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go back to the library. I apologize for the library discussion here. So, budget, 2025 budget for the library. Everybody talking on that?
So, I guess I can summarize this and Tom, if you can help, because I know you're experienced in how this one goes. But so library funding is a statutory requirement of counties. Counties are required to fund 70% of essentially the utilization by residents outside of a city and that are utilizing libraries within your county and neighboring counties as well. So you see in that breakdown, 70% and 100% funding. Options for both of those. The ones in blue are the libraries that are not in Dunn County. So those are Dunn County residents that are utilizing libraries outside of Dunn County. And then the, I don't know what color that is. So that one are the libraries in Dunn County, and the utilization that was done there. And you can see the 100% and 70% funding options. The option that you see there is the traditional amount that the board has approved, or the committee has approved, in funding 100% for the Dunn County libraries and 70% for the non-Dunn County libraries.
Do we have a number? I asked earlier, do we have a number of what it was last year? I tried to get that from Andrew, but he never got back to me today.
I don't know how fast I can get it though.
The numbers from 23 to 25 is like $90,000. That's quite a jump for 1 year, so I don't know what 24 was, so.
I'm sorry, I missed it. What are we looking at right now? I mean, I know libraries, but there's a specific thing we're looking at? Or what's the question?
The question was, what was their budget last year?
Oh, I see.
The approved budget for last year, because I got 23 and then we're trying to get 25. What was, how far did it go from 24 to 25? And we never got 24
Oh, okay.
numbers on here, so I don't know what they were. Do you remember you got
No.
something from last year? No?
Sorry.
Well, I'd be impressed.
The total last year was 709,748.99.
It is. Yeah,
So it's about, 90,000.
we're jumping. We're jumping about $90,000 in 1 year.
What'd you say it was, Dan? 700?
709,748. Last year's didn't have an in-county total for me to do that. I gotta do math in my head. You know what? Now that I'm reading this one, that is not the total. That was that number I gave you was the in-county total last year. I think. Yeah, yep, that total is the in-county total last year was 709
At 100%?
at 100%. So as that compares, this year's in-county total is 669, so that actually results in a decrease.
You say that again, Dan,
Yep, so the number I gave you before, the 709,000 is the in-county total, so that would correspond with the 669,186 that you have on that current form. The 70% for out of county last year was sorry, different format from year to year. So the 100% out of county last year was 118,999. The 100%, the 70% was 83,299. So a dramatic increase for utilization of out of county libraries.
So the reason it's so different from 2024 to 2025 is that we're using the out-of-county libraries more.
Yeah, so this goes straight down to you go to the Eau Claire Library and check out a book. They know that a Dunn County resident went to that library. They keep track of that. And then they take their overall expenses to run their libraries and divide it out by the patrons and the counties that they're in. And that's where these numbers come from. So it's a direct utilization.
That seems totally fair. I wonder what the reason is for why the shift of why we're using it more, why our people are using out of the county more than they were. I'm not expecting an answer. I'm just, think it's interesting.
So we are obligated to pay the 70% of outside use. So that's correct.
That's correct. Yeah.
And that's up, unfortunately, or
Yeah.
fortunately, I guess, depends on how you want to look at it.
Now, would that have anything to do with like Monica's school choice? Maybe students going from Miami to another school and then they use their libraries. So does that affect that at all or don't it?
It could be.
That, I don't know.
Well, I guess I'm.
Seems like quite a
Mhm.
jump. I mean, it does. It's
My
getting
math
up there.
serves me right. The
Right.
difference between for the in-county is about
About 40.
$40,500. And the difference from the in-county or out of county is roughly about $46,600. So I think it kind of almost seems a little bit even-ish, barring, I don't know, $6,000.
Yeah. So one thing for those of you that maybe are newer, the library funding is not subject to levy limits. So we always kind of talk about those different numbers, and if this number goes up, we can increase our levy in order to cover that cost. So which would not be true of highway costs go up. We can still only limit it based on net new construction. Libraries are exempt from that particular item. Those in bridge, they call them certificates or something like that.
So. I mean, I'd move that we approve the 100% for local. That's what we have done in the past, 100%.
Or in,
Yeah, we're required to do the 70%, so.
right, you want to do 100% for Dunn
For-
County.
I just will have the discussion.
Hmm.
I'd make that motion.
Do second? All right, we have first and second. We'll open up for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I am consistent. I think this is a good idea because this supports Dunn County families and it makes a better community. And to me, the decisions are non-political. They are people choosing knowledge, and we should not in any way hinder that. And I'm glad to see the increase in activity, even if it does cost money. So I certainly support Tom's motion.
I'll add, go along with that. I mean, with the reports that they come to the county board members and give every year, that's awesome. I think they do a really good job, so. We have first and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at the library.
Can I clarify? So that was for in-county 100% and out-of-county 70%, correct? Okay, thank you.
Dunn County Housing Authority.
So I apologize. I didn't know I was supposed to like put together any kind of report or anything for this. The process has changed so many times through the years. I just thought I was supposed to show up for questions. But of course I did the application that you have. As far as for any new folks, we do request every year, and then we do come to the board meeting for the County Board of Supervisors in January and kind of report on what we do with the money, that type of thing. The Dunn County Housing Authority has two programs. One is the Housing Choice Voucher Program, where we assist low-income households with housing, making it affordable for them. And the other program is called the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. That program is an optional case management program where we work with voucher holders that are interested in the program for approximately 5 years and work on goals towards self-sufficiency and budgeting and employment and education and transportation, all of the kind of barriers to self-sufficiency. As far as the request goes, last year we had requested 47,000. This year 49,000. Could have been could have been more if we thought that it were something that would be worth our time, but totally understanding that all budgets have a whole bunch of restraints out there right now, and at this point we've just been trying to kind of stay the path and be as frugal as possible and cut where we can cut in order to keep things going and keep the program and keep the money coming in. One of the things that I always like to point out about our program is that the the program is set up so that if once a municipality creates a housing authority, it is expected by the federal government that they will get support from that municipality to stay you know, active and in existence. And in kind for that is, you know, the federal dollars that come in to make the housing affordable and to support the families in our community. And for the Dunn County Housing Authorities program, that is approximately $500,000 in federal funds that we receive in a year that help pay towards housing. So that's kind of the at least the one of the benefits to the county of having the housing authority. Any questions?
Yeah, I got, so does this include homeless and low income and how long do they stay on it once you get a low income person in the housing?
So I don't have those numbers, you know, exact numbers, but I would say that probably about 75% of my applicants are homeless when they come to me. And the time on the program largely varies. Right now, we are at, gosh, I think the report that I brought to you guys in January, and I could be wrong because I've been doing this for 19 years and the numbers start to blend after a while, but I think we are at about 47% of our voucher holders are elderly and disabled. So some of those folks are on the program for quite a while. You know, their income doesn't change. So if you can't afford housing when you start the program and you're living on Social Security, that doesn't change. But as far as how the program works for those that are able to work, that's why we have the secondary program, the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, where we can work with those households on barriers to employment to make them, you know, self-sufficient. And that's the whole point of that piece of the program, is to create some rollover on the program and move folks off the program faster.
Thank you.
Sure.
Go ahead, Larry. Yep.
Tammy, I guess I know, but I assumed everybody knows that we're talking about not the City of Menominee Housing Authority. This is rural Dunn County. And at one time in your presentations, you spoke about the barriers that people have for housing or for economic growth. And it was some of the things that you've done is helping people get cars. And also, wasn't there a young lady that you even helped out how to balance a checkbook? Things like that.
Yes, so
Yeah,
Larry's cheating because he comes to our annual meeting.
Yeah, okay.
So he knows some of the success stories, but yes, then that's from the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. We've had folks from that program go on to be homeowners. Purchasing cars is definitely a big thing with that program. And 95% of the folks that I work with on that program, I work with on budgeting. One of our successes from 2023, I think, maybe it might have been December 2022, I can't remember, but she had actually taken her credit score from 0 to 600 and something during the program. And so those kind of barriers, when you are homeless and trying to make ends meet, you don't usually have a lot of credit. Some of the folks that come to me have never had bills in their names before, that type of thing, especially if they're coming out of a divorce and that kind of situation. So yeah, definitely that program is working with primarily budgeting and transportation are the larger issues that we deal with, but then of course we collaborate with like workforce development and other entities for education and job training and that kind of thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions for Tammy? Somebody will make a motion to,
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion to fund Dunn County Housing Authority at the request of 49,000.
do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Monica, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. Next
Did we vote on the, I don't think we took a motion on the economic development.
On which one? Housing Authority?
No, economic development.
Okay. Oh, they talked to me about, then they left. He said he was gonna come back up. That's why I thought he'd still be here, but. All right, anybody want to make a motion on this one?
Make that motion.
You got second, person second? Anybody further discussion? Larry?
I think it's been a long time in coming, and I'm pretty excited to see us moving forward positively in this area. And I think this arrangement with Stout, somebody should get a gold star for that. Because that's really help us, I would think.
I totally agree with Supervisor Durham.
Really? Somebody write this down, yeah. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Just a question for some of the members that were on here last year. Did we have anything for the legislative agenda that we turned in? Do you know, I was trying to get Melissa to look into it, but I didn't know if she had. Because that's gotta be due in October. If we're gonna turn that in, we gotta make sure we discuss some.
That was, yeah, I think that was related to the updated liquor laws that were being done, and they've been passed, I believe, as well. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I'll get you that info.
Yeah, try to find out something. We'll bring it up at our next meeting, just put it on the agenda. Okay, discussion on the, legislative agenda. Anything else? Guys got any updates on anything? Good? Next meeting's August 20th, right here in this room. Guess we're adjourned. Thanks.